Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen at home, and welcome to the 2022 AMMNA Men's and Mixed National Championships here at Netball SA Stadium in Adelaide. My name is Dan Cook. You are joined with myself, with Matthew Blomley next to me in the chair. Welcome, Matthew.
Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching from currently.
We're here for this. It is called a semi-final clash. It is Victoria versus South Australia for a spot in the grand final tomorrow in the reserve men's division. And a great start there from Victoria, getting the ball to post for a 1-0 lead. Matthew, looking forward to this game.
Oh, absolutely. This is so thrilling to see South Australia up and about in the reserves competition with quite a strong side playing off in this prelim final. Victoria, they've been dominant in reserves for so long, winning all but one of the last decade, essentially. So this is no doubt going to be an absolute clash that we're looking forward to see. Both sides have been terrific. There have been great fought battles between each of them in each of the games. Sometimes the lead may have pushed out slightly, but the games have been toughly fought. They've only come away at the end, as we just see a replay call for Steve McCallum there.
Yeah, correct. South Australia and Victoria have met once throughout the championship. It was actually a larger margin in that game in Victoria's favour. However, South Australia do have a win over New South Wales, who was able to take out Victoria in their other match during the week. New South Wales and Queensland at the moment playing off for the other spot in the final tomorrow. So looking forward to how this one can shape up. Watched South Australia a couple of times so far as well. Fantastic work there from Davis just to slot that ball away and taking South Australia to a 2-1 lead.
And with the centre pass just unfortunately thrown away, there was a chance to capitalise and boost out their lead. Victoria will be looking to bring this back, bring it back onto centre.
Yeah. South Australia do have a very strong lineup for the reserves division. Former Opens representative Steve McInnes, Reese Turner out on the court currently. Tyson Jerry returning from a knee reconstruction not too long ago as well. Nice experience in this lineup there. Victoria with Josh Smith in that goal shooter and Steve McCallum in at goal attack. Adam Franz returning to the court, has had a little bit of illness during the week, but is returning for this game. Former Opens player James Robertson in at centre. Fantastic take there, as you just saw from the wing defence in Jake Dambrowskis. Stalwart in the reserves division for Victoria now, Simon Cartwright in at goal defence, and goalkeeper for Victoria is the youngster Danny Lotes. The lineup here for South Australia: Davis in at goal shooter, it's Mark Gorham in at goal attack, Reese Turner at wing attack, Tyson Jerry in centre, Steve McInnes at wing defence, George Duff in goal defence, and Spur in at goalkeeper.
South Australia have struggled a little bit in this first couple of minutes to get the ball from transverse through to transverse line. That's something they're going to look at cleaning up. Probably, I'd say this certainly next 5, if not next 11 minutes that are left of the quarter, to make sure they're getting the ball down quite clearly. As we go 5 goals, 2-2 Victoria's way. South Australia with the centre, and you've got to finish off drives against Jake Dambrowskis, which is unusual for Turner to do. Normally he's so strong at the ball.
Yeah, he is very strong at the ball. Nice and tenacious movement towards the play. Will probably set up a lot of work there, and look at it, just trying to force the ball over. Fantastic work there from Victoria just to put the ball in the air off. But great defence from South Australia. Victoria probably moving a bit too quickly through the court. But
yeah, struggling for someone to be on the end of that ball by the looks of it. There was heaps of space in the centre third on the bench side where we're commentating from, but unfortunately no one entering that space. South Australia looking like they're running a bit of a zone defence, which is something Victorian Resis have done for a couple of years now as well. It'll be interesting to see how much turnover ball comes their way from that as we progress through this first quarter.
Yeah. Smith just found underneath the post. Great contest from Spur, however, but is able to slot the goal. It is a 6-2 lead with Robertson taking the first centre after that goal. And Reece Turner put out of play for an obstruction call off the centre pass. I think South Australia would probably be thinking that they don't want to give away some easy penalties just to let Victoria reset. That's probably where they're at their strongest.
Lovely offload from McCallum. Now, South Australia are going to have to work hard in that goal circle, but if they can get their bodies around, they can create something, I'm sure.
Yeah, South Australia really trying to work through Victoria's box diamond defence there. Simon Cartwright just trying to take the ball out of the air. Mark Gorham now with the shot on goal, walks up and sets himself up with the shot and does sink
finish.
it.
Terrific finish.
Great work from South Australia just to slot that one in, keeping them in touch. 7-3 Victoria's way.
And South Australia needed to sink that one just to bring themselves back into this quarter, make sure Victoria can't push it out. There is plenty of time to go and to build a sustainable first quarter.
Well, just probably an unlucky call. What I have been fairly impressed with so far in this game is South Australia's ability just to try and run Victoria a little wide and not let them use the middle channel. And a break call here on Turner, possibly coming from the last couple of plays with pressure from Dambrauskas.
And I think he might be doubting his own speed a little bit here. He's very fast on the court. Dambrauskas also very fast, maybe trying to get out a little bit earlier and ahead of him instead of using his positioning to his advantage.
And Franz over in the corner just finds Smith underneath the post. These two have played together for a long time, so expect a connection between the two of them. Penalty on McInnes, but Franz looks for Smith and is able to find him under the post.
And this should be a terrific battle between McInnes and Franz. You've got a very experienced player in Steve McInnes. He's played wing defence at high level, including in Australian teams before.
Yeah, with myself. Included myself back in South Australia a long time ago, ex-teammate of mine as well. So Steve has been around just as long as what I would have. Was able to maintain himself on the court. Fantastic, almost cut off there from McInnes, however.
Incredible ball from Franz into the circle, just using the backspace, Josh Smith. And that's pushing it to 11-3. South Australia are going to have to make a slight change, which they're looking at doing.
Yeah, just put on Josh. Thomas into Josh Taylor into centre. And Tyson Jerry has now just replaced Reece Turner in at wing attack as well, maybe looking to inject some speed, but you can also see Turner grabbing the bib, maybe looking at coming on in centre fairly shortly as well.
And sometimes you just need to make a slight positional swap there just to create something different. They're obviously after Turner's defensive pressure that he's going to put through. As a nice hands from Victoria. They need his attack though. He's been so solid in attack for them. Victoria so far using a lot of the left-hand side of the court for their attacking. Whilst it's working at the moment, if South Australia do become aware of that, they can look at shutting down and keeping them this side of the court. Or, alternatively, push them completely to the other side of the court to create a different angle that maybe Victoria aren't as confident with.
Yeah, agreed. Look, and we see Reece Turner return to the court, does throw the ball out and does get a tip from Franz there. But I am liking this idea of the change, maybe just looking to have Tyson Jerry come up through the court and allow for Reece Turner to drive himself down through the court. Just changes the options for South Australia when they're bringing the ball out of defence.
And a slightly different matchup as well. Looking at putting more focus on which defenders are against them rather than the swaps that may have been occurring. Good circle edge.
Yeah, I think the change just really paying dividends straight away for them. Davis able to slot that one away. Nice strong body on the hold for South Australia. Does take the score to 12-4, however, Victoria's way.
Just slightly late there, Spur. He saw it, but it was so full into the goal third that that's a difficult ball for any keeper to go for.
Very difficult ball for a keeper to go through. You want to look at trying to maybe stop that drive out from the shooter. However, Victorian goal shooter Josh Smith probably doesn't want to be getting himself caught out that far either, so just making the decision maybe not to go for that ball if you're not going to be out of the contest so far away from the circle.
Yeah, ultimately, if a shooter's coming out that far, let them come out that far, but meet them and stop them from getting back into the circle, which can be a very effective technique there as well.
Tyson Jerry just able to use his body a little bit more on Jake Dambraskus than what we saw at the start. But the split circle is able to get a tip for the ball to go over the goal line. South Australia with that ball, really smart set play there from Gorham
And
to put
finished.
the ball, dribble that one in. 13-5 Victoria with the centre pass. Victoria really able to get out off this centre pass very easily for today. But Mark Gorham with the intercept, fantastic work. Just to have eyes for the ball, taking that one out of the air. South Australia with this one.
I'd love to see a goal attack do that as well.
Oh, yeah.
They go hunting through the court there. People don't expect it, and it gets a lot of turnovers.
Definitely was my favourite one as well, that, that pick-off right near the transverse line. Fantastic shot from Davis just to bring that margin back to 7. South Australia will look to convert this centre pass as well.
Getting caught by the wrong angle there, Jake Dambraskus, whilst he got first touch of the ball. It was very cleverly positioned by area wing attack. He's able to keep that line, keep underneath it, causing the contact.
Yeah, he's just able to change his angle onto the ball, which means he gets through into the better body position. And the work right there from South Australia is great. Just able to split the defence, finding Gorham easily, getting the penalty under the post. He's definitely happy with being able to score that, bringing the margin back to 6.
Yeah, that was great attacking play from South Australia. The defensive pressure had dropped off from Victoria and they took advantage of it. Steve McCallum looks to sink another one, keeping Victoria in that slight lead of 7 goals at the moment, but 3 minutes to go in the quarter. There is still plenty of time for South Australia to really claw this back and go into the quarter time break with possibly even as we get a turnover, which is going to prevent that, unfortunately, for South Australia.
Yeah, it looks like just a little bit of a miscommunication in that flick back pass there, hitting Turner in the chest and just bobbling out of his hands. And Turner giving away that easy penalty on the outside of the circle, maybe something to cut out of the game, just allowing Victoria easy entry now, and Steve McCallum puts that one away.
And Steve McCallum's so good at that lovely front cut, and he finds the baseline, able to turn and shoot those. You can't give him that. You've got to stop that arc from him.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. He is able to find the space nice and easily. Josh Smith with a great hold there on Spur, getting the penalty. Victoria putting that one away, taking the margin out to 9. 16 goals to 7. Victoria with this wall that they have been running all week, just causing some issues for South Australia off the centre pass. But
I would have loved to see a hunt there from Cartwright in goal defence. That's what they were setting up for. That's why you play that box.
It is.
To have a go from behind.
But great patience from South Australia, able to get the ball circle edge, finding the easy ball into the circle, able to slot that one away.
Just having a little bit of trouble with Josh Smith's hold here, South Australia. I'd like to see Spur come often in front, and I think he'll be able to restrict some of the movement and force the ball over, which gives him a chance to have a go at the ball. He's dynamic, give himself an opportunity there.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. I think he's getting caught on the side of Josh Smith. Josh really gets to choose which side he wants to have the hold on. Also giving the feeders, I think that one was taken out of the hands of McInnes just then, but Victoria now with the ball. Adam Franz off the circle, but he has been able to find Josh Smith under the post several times already, Josh.
And that's that connection between those two
right.
you spoke about. They played 23s together for a number of years. They built up a lovely combination, and that's now transferred to the Open Reserves competition for Victoria.
Is. And the time spent off the court as well during COVID, they would have been training together a lot. They do have a friendship as well outside. So it does help along with the transition out of 23s that they've had the time playing together now into that reserves grade, possibly an Opens option for Victoria in the future as well.
Terrific hands.
Yes.
That's George Doof coming up with the hands, and that's what I want to see him at goal defence doing, having a go at the ball.
Yeah.
He can't get caught in that hold.
Yeah, definitely doesn't have the height to go with everybody else, but does have the speed. And it'd be nice to see him use it just to get himself free of the body into the space. Gorham does slot that away for South Australia. We can see that Andrew Burgess has come onto the court for Danny Lotes as well in at that goalkeeper spot for Victoria. Interesting to see how South Australia go with that change, but Davis able to pull that one out of the air just before the first quarter time break there. Goal score for the match so far. Victoria leading 18 goals to 9 at quarter time.
Thanking our weekly sponsor, Harrison's Kitchens. Looking for a new kitchen, a fresco kitchen, or a custom joinery item? Harrison's Kitchens and Cabinets are celebrating 20 years this year. 20 years of supplying and installing true custom joinery with you in mind. Kitchens and joinery. All budgets, many material options with many special rates for the South Australian netball community. Look them up on Facebook, Instagram, or search up www.harrisonkitchens.com.au.
And welcome back to second quarter action here at the 2022 AMMNA Men's and Mixed Netball National Championships for 2022. This is the men's reserves division match between South Australia and Victoria for a spot in the grand final tomorrow. Victoria leading, we did say 18-9. It is actually been updated. It is 18 goals to 10 with the centre pass. And in case you're wondering what is going on and who the winner of this game may play, New South Wales leads Queensland on the other court, 17 goals to 10. Matthew, how did you see the first quarter?
I saw the first quarter as South Australia allowed Victoria into the game for a moment there, and that's what pushed that lead out. When South Australia were consistent and just backed their own gameplay, they were able to get turnovers, they were able to score shots, but they've just got to keep that a little bit more consistent for the next three quarters if they want to get up over this Victorian team.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I thought they let Victoria out to a lead early in that one, but was able to stay with them. The change in centre and wing attack, just reshuffling the two in there, Turda and Jerry switching spots, did start to pay dividends. They were able to find Davis a little easier under the post, so great work. Or Simon Cartwright coming up with the intercept. Probably too long a drive out on that centre pass from Mark Gorham.
Yeah, just needed a change of direction. I think that would have helped bring that ball back into it.
Yeah, and Josh Smith just running a couple of rings around Spur underneath the post, able to find himself on the turn. And Fran's out over the line off the centre pass. Robertson now in the corner, not sure where to go, but Franz offers himself in the front space.
And whilst you saw Franz and Robertson on top of each other a bit there, there's still enough space to create something there.
Yeah,
so
true. George Duff with
that's experience from Robbo as well.
George Duff with the penalty there, just allowing easy access, and the ball straight in to Smith for the goal. 11 goals now, the margin. We do have 13 minutes to go in the second quarter. South Australia will really want to tighten up on what it is that is going on the court.
Good use of back space there from Gorham. I think if they can work the ball through Gorham, through that top of the circle a little bit more, that's going to create a lot of options. Davis is strong under the post, but we've got to get Gorham into the game with his shot, as was happening at the end of the last quarter.
Yeah, Davis has had some really good moments. Would like to see him use his body just a little bit more to get himself into the right space, but we just saw it then. When he does do it, he is an easy target for South Australia. They do get that goal, bringing the margin back to 10.
South Australia do really need an early couple of turnovers here to help bring themselves into this quarter, give it a little bit of confidence as Victoria, through Smith, get their 22nd goal. Now that's where Jerry's so good there as a wing attack. He's able to get front position, stay there, and draw contacts.
Yeah, just smart body positioning from Jerry and use of the corner pocket just then, able to force himself into the pocket. And we see nice, strong body position from Davis and fantastic shot for South Australia.
Now Davis is going to be a little bit careful with that shot when he's got that foot in, that he's not then forcing the ball into the keeper's hands, because that call may go against him as another turnover for Gorham goes his way. That is terrific. Once again, goal attacks, getting intercepts, getting turnovers. We love to see it.
The body work from Simon Cartwright, use of the arm outside of the body. Victoria straight down on the fly. Again, the connection from Franz and Smith. Oh, and I think from my angle that was a bit of an unlucky call there on Spur, but Josh Smith just offering himself up to Steve McCallum for the easy option and scoring that one there for Victoria.
Yeah, Smith needs to remember to bring his feet to that. Unfortunately, you're not always going to get the lovely split that you want early, especially if you've sat in it for a moment. Bring your feet to it, adjust, and then you can get your position in again. And he can sink it from there anyway. Lovely shot, Davis. South Australia need to keep working the ball into Davis under there. Keep the pressure on. It's going to be difficult for any keeper to contest every one of those balls. You can't teach height.
Yeah, very, very much so, but fantastic work from South Australia. If they can cause a couple of turnovers as well, Victoria have gone out to an early lead. However, get yourself back into the game, especially being able to find a tool. You'll be able to put the ball up really easily and you get yourself back in. Yeah,
patience is what required from South Australia here. It is absolutely a marathon, not a sprint, this game, in terms of pegging back an 11-goal lead. That is nothing in men's netball and in 15-minute quarters whatsoever. As we're seeing a bit more hands pressure from Victoria, they've decided to step up that defence. Great support from McInnes at the line.
Yeah, great use of voice, just showing the awareness to the rest of the team as to where the option was. And fantastic offer from Davis, great vision from Turda into the post.
Able to exploit that slight mismatch in height that's occurred. Simon Cartwright only just shorter than Burgess, but that inch can make a difference a little.
Yeah, it just makes a difference looking into the circle as well. You can see Davis just offering a little more than when he's on Cartwright over when he's matching up to Burgess. So it does make it easier to find him. Now, an offside call on the inside of the circle, for Victoria, and McCallum just double plays, rolls that one over the front of the rim just to put the ball through for Victoria.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen Robertson seal a bit earlier on that initial ball where the offside goes. Turtle will go for every one of those. He's going to get great hands into it. He's not afraid to keep going. You can't let him get around you on the circle that easily.
Correct. And Burgess with the fantastic tip and intercept high up in the defensive goal third for Victoria. And now Victoria on the fly all the way through. Josh Smith setting up nice and easily on George Dorff, and able to slot that one through. Now Victoria out to a 12-goal lead. Dangerous here for South Australia. Do not want to let this one slip out too far and want to stay in touch.
And the thing is with Victoria here, they've got players on their bench who have been giving them solid minutes throughout this tournament. They'll be able to keep their foot down if you allow them to. But South Australia, they've got to work harder here to keep Victoria from pushing that away.
Now McInnes setting up the penalty off to Jerry, who flicks the outlet ball out to Turner. Penalty there on the outside of Dambrauskas. And Mark Gorham just splits the defenders, able to get the nice split into the circle. Puts this one away just to drop that margin back to 12. We are midway through this second term. And Victoria centre pass with Smith coming out.
South Australia probably need to look at evening up the court a little bit more in their attack. At the moment, they've started pushing a lot to the right-hand side of the court. If they can bring that back maybe centrally and then go for the split, they've got the speed to get top of the circle. That's where they're strongest in their feed. Yeah,
I definitely have to agree with you there, Matt, as well. Looking to probably get the ability to exploit either side and finding Davis underneath the post.
And it also allows Gorham to really be in the game. He's great at the top of the circle on that split. And speaking of splits, a terrific split by Davis.
But great work, body position on Burgess, just to get that easy ball over the top.
And I'll just be keeping an eye on the footwork there, Davis. Started getting a bit double pivot happening. He's just going to need to make sure he plants a bit more clearly so that call doesn't come. There was great work there by George Dorff, trying to force McCallum a little bit further. Unfortunately, drawing the contact. Probably just need to take that little extra step, and that call won't be there. Yeah,
McCallum just with that front cut we spoke about earlier, just to drop into the front space there, giving the easy option to Victoria. South Australia with the centre see a little bit of issues for Jerry getting out on that centre pass, but fantastic give and go from Tyson Jerry. Quick ball movement here by South Australia. And Davis with a great setup, just causing the penalty on Simon Cartwright and able to slot that one away. I think it's important for South Australia to think about how they move the ball to the circle edge. Tyson Jerry's been able to find it in parts throughout the game since his move into wing attack. But how can they continue to keep doing it just so that they do stay in touch?
Yeah, they need to let go of the ball a little bit more through there. I think they're hesitating. The leads are coming slightly late. If they can pick up the time in there, they'll be all over these Victorian defenders as they currently stand. But that's also credit to Victoria's defence. They're holding them up for that little bit. As we see a change for South Australia, Terhoy's coming on in goal defence. A bit of change of legs. I don't think that's a bad thing for South Australia. Throw something different in their circle.
Yeah, I think a couple of times maybe the height has been an issue back there. Terhoy brings a little bit more height into the circle. The ball has been going flat, especially from Robertson across the circle, so there is an opportunity for the pick-off on the ball into Smith.
Especially if he's getting hands over through the top of the circle transverse area. I think that's going to force the ball up that little bit. You force the ball up, there's every chance it's going to go over that baseline. Victoria have scored 13 goals this quarter already with 5 minutes to go. They've got to do that change to help stem this flow of goals that are coming.
Yeah, agree there. I think this quarter has been a little more even, just a couple of turnovers, but really no turnovers made by Victoria. This quarter is just extending the lead out a little bit further. South Australia have been pretty good with the ball themselves, but nice setup there from Davis. Turner able to find him, and fantastic mid-range shot as well.
I'm glad he turned and shot that as well. They needed that. They needed that little bit of confidence, and it's great to see a shooter confident in their own shot like that.
Tall shooter, ready to go, putting the ball up and through to the post. Really important for South Australia to make sure that they go in, but fantastic work.
And terrific screen, Josh Smith. He was looking for that opponent as soon as they were coming in the circle, set up screen. He was going to find them no matter what. That back space opened beautifully. Yeah, there needs to be a bit more talk in that circle from South Australia.
Yeah, also the other important thing out of that one, the drive from Steve McCallum just to draw the defender away, opening up the space in. But fantastic vision from Turner to find Gorham on the goal line, and Gorham has the shot, rolls it off the back of the post.
And I think Gorham is crucial to this attack line for them. I need to see him getting a little bit more of the ball. I think helping out through transverse area at times, just to give a little bit of an extra drive, that'll help South Australia come back and claw back this lead.
Yeah, it's a horse with a deflection just a couple of seconds ago, and then great contest on Josh Smith. It's probably the first time he's been contested in the air for a little while, so great work from South Australia. But Andrew Burgess out with the fly on the cross-court ball from South Australia. Victoria now moving the ball down the court really quickly.
That was a rare telegraph ball from Jerry. He gave all day for Burgess to eat that up. But that can be what happens sometimes when you get that two hands above your head pass, that you start to narrow your vision and you don't see all of the options on court. As South Australia get a crucial turnover here with 2.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. And a crucial turnover back the other way. So they needed to convert that.
They did. Maybe just a little bit of pressure on with the press that Victoria have run without making too many errors. They haven't had much of a chance to run it, so it might be the first time South Australia has really had a look at it in full flight today, just giving it a little bit of concern.
And given that they were running the press earlier themselves, you would have hoped that they wouldn't have reacted so poorly to that. But let's see, once they face it again, how they'll react next time. Josh Smith almost looking for the step in there, but regaining balance. That puts Victoria on 17 goals for this quarter. Last quarter they scored 18. I think they'll be looking at matching that, if not moving up a little bit. South Australia need to score at least one, if not two more goals with 1:40 left on the clock.
Great front cut from Jerry just to get himself to circle edge. Gorham not happy with his position inside the circle. Did want to play it out, but can definitely see the hold there from Andrew Burgess. And Davis able to slot that away. I've been very impressed by Alec Davis today, just the body position. I think a great option for South Australia. He has been able to get himself in there, just not the ability to get possession from the midcourt.
As a miss comes from Steve McCallum, long range shot. Speaking of Davis, I think his body has positioning has got better as this game has gone on. He's really provided a clearer presence where he wants the ball, and South Australia benefited from that. Now, Burgess is having to go at everything outside the circle. That's scary when a keeper is doing that as a feeding point of view. And I think South Australia have got to look at changing their ball movement in this next half.
Agreed. Now, we just saw a change from Victoria. Downbrauskas has just come from the court, replaced by another young star from the Victorian ranks in James Sutton. Massive, massive fan of this kid. He did so much work in the juniors through Victoria and has just made his
What a clean-up from Steve McCallum at that moment. He created something from nothing.
And Robertson just has a crack at a ball along the side, but umpire just setting the penalty here. South Australia.
Oh, terrific eyes, Turner.
Time. And Davis. Great work at getting that ball there right on the half-time break. Fantastic vision from Turner. And we now go into halftime of this semi-final clash spot in the grand final on the line. It is Victoria leading 38 goals to 22.
In sport, there are the elite, the ones who give their all for a place at the top. They are the ones who rise to the occasion.
The 2019 Men's Open Australian Championships.
This is exactly what we wanted, putting men's netball on the map.
There's so many people that have come before us, there's so many people that are going to come after us, but we're part of that foundation, you know, we're building it to be whatever it becomes.
You have to put your heart on the line, and you have to be a team person first.
That was not good enough to me, and you shouldn't accept it as good enough for you. Get on one-on-one.
Yeah, imagine a female then being told, well, sorry, you can't play AFL or you can't play cricket past this age. You'd certainly hear about it.
We continue to work so that no other 12-year-old boy has to hear that ever again.
Welcome back to Netball SA Stadium. You are joining us here at the Men's and Mixed Netball Championship Reserves Division for 2022. My name is Dan Cook. Joining me is Matthew Blomley. Here it is halftime. Victoria leading South Australia 30.
Or rather, in the third quarter now.
We
Finished
are
half-time.
just after halftime. Victoria leading South Australia 38 goals to 32. Now, with that said, if you were watching during the break at half time, you would have noticed the documentary rising to the occasion, the preview of that one playing. It is the first Australian documentary about men's netball following the journey to the National Championships. Definitely recommend that you give that another viewing at some stage. And once it's out, make sure that you're tuning in to watch and supporting our men in netball. But back to the game, Matthew. Sum up the first half. Where were the gaps there? Why is the margin out to 16?
The gaps are probably inconsistency in that first half from South Australia versus Victoria. Victoria had an overall more consistent process through their defence through to their attack. South Australia had some great passages of play. It was just building that from one moment to the next. And unfortunately, they threw the ball away a little bit too much.
Yeah, have to agree. You can see the defensive work from South Australia at some stages are on point, and just at other times, Victoria able to find their way to post a little too easily. Have been impressed with the ability of Davis and Jerry to work together for South Australia, but at times the cross-court ball has given Burgess some chances in the air. Turner there with the ball into the post, a tip from Burgess, but South Australia mopping up the mess that was made and able to slot that one through. It is still 16 goals, just 2 minutes into the third quarter.
Yeah, getting caught sideline there, Smith. That really brought Turhurst into the opportunity to have it, sorry, should I say Spur into the opportunity to get hands on it and cause the throw in. That's where South Australia, as we see Spur get another ball, Robertson just not putting enough on it. If they keep that pressure on South Australia, they're going to get more and more turnovers.
Yeah, and change there for South Australia. McInnes being replaced by George Duff. Interesting change, maybe just trying to get some more pressure on to Adam Franz, giving Steve McInnes, the veteran, a rest. But South Australia with the goal and now the centre pass, just a chance for them to bring it back to 14 possibly and get themselves back into it.
Yeah, I think the change is not a bad one. It's given a more active wing defence. Steve McInnes is so solid with his arms and his experience, but there's someone who's going to have a go at the ball a bit more and maybe cause turnover and have a go at the intercepts.
Yeah, great triangle work and vision from South Australia, able to find Alec Davis under the post. Nice and easily there, but George Duff called for the holding penalty. And Victoria swing that ball into the pocket once again, just able to get the ball into the circle through that middle corridor and channel. Nice and easily finding Smith under the post.
And we do see a change here for Victoria as they score that shot. Danny Lotes coming on goal defence, replacing Simon Cartwright. Effectively using this rotation here, Victoria, the rolling subs to their advantage. Hasn't been as many rolling subs perhaps as we've seen in some of the other games. But yeah, it is something that has worked well for them throughout the tournament. And South Australia haven't quite used as many and maybe don't have the same depth at the moment. As we get another turnover for South Australia. They need to capitalise, but almost forcing the outer court. Got a feeling it may have come off our goal shooter's hands for Victoria, and Spurs keep it terrific. Just patience.
Yeah, just a positional swap there from Jerry and Turner. Turner sitting down the base, but great ability to open up the court. Davis found underneath the post.
This is the start to the second half that South Australia have been after. 6 goals to 3 with a chance to go 7 goals to 3. You've got to peg away at a lead. Terrific chase from Davis, using the backspace on both occasions. Second ball as well. And that is 7 goals to 3. About 5 minutes into this third quarter. They're really starting to peg it back. That's what South Australia have wanted. They've put some increased pressure. See if they can get a few more turnovers as short little offload from Smith to McCallum. Terhoy's getting called for the obstruction. Now, are you seeing a change in momentum? Are you seeing a change in intensity? What are you thinking is the cause for this?
I think Victoria's probably just gotten a little less sharp, which is going to come with the time spent on court moving into the second half. But South Australia, I think, maybe have a bit of a change in momentum. Once, look, they had the ability to start it all going in the first half. So I think that's probably what it is. Once it starts to fall into place, you can get the goals on the board, then it starts to chug along a little bit more for you.
And Victoria looking at consolidating. That's now 5 goals to 7. Still South Australia's way for this quarter. Let me remind the viewers at home, it is a 14-goal difference still. South Australia are pegging this back. It's exactly what we need from them, slowly but surely. Just a bit too much on that ball for Smith. Wanting a bit less on it, just letting his teammate know, let's just take a bit of the heat off it. They're setting up the same sort of press, but South Australia absolutely been over it a little bit too much. He saw it, it was an option, it was there.
Yeah.
Turner just giving a little bit too many Wheaties on it.
And James Sutton just on the fly through the court. Adam Franz just doing the same thing, finding circle edge. And Robertson just peels off at the back, finds Franz circle edge once again, and Smith on that ever-ready hold that he has been on for the whole game, slots it away for Victoria. And a change here for South Australia. Tom Morton coming on into wing defence, replacing George Duff.
And I didn't mind George Duff in there, to be fair to him. I think he was doing a good job of keeping some pressure on Adam Franz. Not an easy player to play against, as we also see a change for the Victoria with wing attack Wade Aitken replacing Adam Franz in that position. But what does look like is, and this I don't mind, is a clear instruction now coming to that player who's come off the bench for South Australia. Maybe they'll look at throwing him straight back on. Now they're giving him the instruction of what they want from him.
Yeah, ripping the bib off, looking like he's going to place another one back on, maybe a small change as well. And McCallum there with that penalty shot, puts it away, does take the margin back out to 16. Wade Aitken with the easy option off the centre pass. Just throws it backwards, but Victoria now penetrating it through there. Or Turner gives away the penalty, maybe something to remove from his game.
And I think this was a couple of smart changes here from Victoria, just added a little bit more intensity that they had started to drop off from. South Australia hadn't kept that intensity up. And just trying to force a little ball there, Josh Smith ending up with the stepping call, or should I say footwork as it's now called. Yeah, George Smith waiting for the opportunity to come back on. That is the long ball that they wanted before.
Great spatial awareness from both Davis and Turner, able to find that easy option underneath the post. Davis on the lead there, maybe taking something. Oh, and Victoria, though, with the steal here. Great hands from Robertson.
And the ball movement, this is what Victoria is known for in this division, is turn, release, and go for it. If they play this sort of game, they're going to be hard to beat for the rest of this quarter, let alone half.
McCallum just slots a nice mid-range goal for Victoria. Robertson now with the centre pass, finds Aitken nice and easily off the line. Robertson just coming from the court, replaced by Adam Franz, who's now moved across into centre, but bad ball placement there, throwing the ball out across the sideline. South Australia with this ball, George Duff over to Morton, but the press from Victoria just providing a couple of issues for South Australia, bringing that ball out of defence, and a handling error just allows for Victoria to work the ball to post. A fantastic shot from McCallum.
Now, South Australia really need to look at these connections from defence through to attack. Davis has been having a terrific quarter. They've got to keep finding him, which means they've got to keep doing the work.
Yeah, just wonder whether there might need to be a change through the middle of the quarter in goal attack just to help find him as well. Just a change up, change the momentum, change what everyone else is seeing on the court. Victoria has now changed every player in this quarter in that space. So a chance to South Australia maybe to create something new.
Danny Lotes finds himself out of play, which allows Davis the chance to even the score for this quarter. 47-31, Victoria's way. Just under 5 minutes to go. South Australia, they've still got a chance to peg this back. They've just got to have a little bit of belief in themselves and their own ability, because when they're playing well, they are dynamic. This beautiful angle work from Victoria. Unfortunate call for Spur. Just got to keep getting his feet around. Obviously, so good in the air, so good at hunting, but difficult to get down to that low ball when the body is holding you so strongly. Just get in the held ball there, McCallum. Here is an opportunity for South Australia to bring it down, but the press from Victoria is on again. South Australia have had some trouble with this. Let's see how they go, working it through. Keeping sideline, seeing options, swinging the ball across court. Not a bad one, but you've got to have a hunt if you are in the press for Victoria. This is better ball movement from South Australia. As Adam Franz comes up with the hands, you can't leave him alone like that.
Yeah, I think the important thing for South Australia probably needed to have someone bust up the middle. Victoria running their diamond press in that defensive third, just able to force the ball across some hands. Turnover, ball moving quickly through the court. Smith now with the goal for Victoria. That does put the margin out to 17. Smith is coming from the court, being replaced by Alex Nichols, another one of Victoria's youngsters, making his reserves debut as well. Fantastic vision from Turner into Davis. And Davis, nice high release on the shot. Fantastic.
I'm loving the confidence from Davis on his shot now. We've seen him a bit hesitant. He missed a couple early, and now he's found his range. He's putting them up. He's really giving them a clear target where they want it. They've got to keep getting the ball through him.
Nice ball movement around the outside of the circle, finding the shoot off to Aitken and then into McCallum for the goal. South Australia really looking at trying to drive this ball through the court. Fantastic vision there from Turda, using a triangle to get in, and classic front cut from Gorham just to find it. Nice quick goal attack, flick over to the shooter, finding Davis.
And he could have put that shot up easily. He's been shooting those and he's been singing them, but Davis is on fire. You might as well keep working through him. Oh, unfortunate contact there, on giving the edge of the circle away to Victoria.
And Tehurst replaces Spur in at goalkeeper as well. Just a miss there. Nichols with the rebound and just pushes the ball long underneath the post there. Not the best shot, but Adam Franz just able to pick off this. It is a six-man press, slightly different to one that we have seen normally. It is a bit of a trademark there of Alexi McConnell.
Yeah, the six-man press is something that the reserve's done for a number of years, which includes the boys who were part of that Reaper squad for quite a while. The surprising thing was there wasn't as much noise as there normally is, and that's something that Victoria's been known for. South Australia, I don't know why they're not looking at punching up through the middle, at least creating that dynamic drive. They've got the strong drivers there.
Yeah.
They've got the likes of Jerry, they've got the likes of Turdo, who can really punch through that and create something.
Yeah, opportunity possibly just to find the body, get yourself onto the ball. How do you block someone out, make sure that you can come through and into it. But great work from McInnes, was just able to do exactly what we said, drive straight through the middle corridor, opening it up for South Australia. Jerry finding a space on the outside of the circle, causing Sutton.
And the thing I love from McInnes there, just to backtrack for a minor moment, is that the fact that he did it so patiently. You don't have to actually rush it through. You find the moment, you find the gaps, and then someone punching through will open up.
Yeah, really using his experience there just to make sure that he's getting the ball, taking it, keeping it safe for South Australia, paying dividends there. Davis, once again under the post, has done a great job today of offering something for South Australia, and great vision underneath. Alec Davis pulling that one in. Danny Lotes out for the penalty, just getting caught underneath the body.
30 seconds ago. South Australia are winning this quarter, which is crucial for them going into the last quarter. They've got some momentum again. They're finishing this quarter really strong. Alex Nicol got to keep ripping those in. He also needs to back his shot. He can sink him maybe a little bit of finals nerves when in his first 2 minutes of this final. Steve McCallum unfortunately missing. That would have been nice for Victoria, but South Australia got the chance to capitalise. The long ball in. Not quite enough. Oh, getting the call. Goalkeeper Andrew Burgess getting called for the obstruction call. And Davis goes in there in quarter time. This is something to look forward to in this last quarter with the momentum that South Australia are now running with.
Yeah, correct. Looking forward to what this last quarter can bring. South Australia able to bring the margin back just slightly there. 2 goals taking out that quarter. It is 3-quarter time here in the semi-final of the men's reserve division. Victoria leading going into that 3-quarter time break, 49 goals to 36.
Thanking our weekly sponsor, Harrison's Kitchens. Looking for a new kitchen, a fresco kitchen, or a custom joinery item? Harrison's Kitchens and Cabinets are celebrating 20 years this year. 20 years of supplying and installing true custom joinery with you in mind. Kitchens and joinery. All budgets, many material options with many special rates for the South Australian netball community. Look them up on Facebook, Instagram, or search up www.harrisonkitchens.com.au.
And welcome back to this semi-final match at the AMMNA 2022 Men's and Mixed National Championship. It is the Reserves Division semi-final between South Australia and Victoria. Victoria currently with a 13-goal lead, 49 to 36, as Turner kicks us off in the final term. Quick release to Davis there, and a nice goal and start for the final quarter to South Australia. Matthew, South Australia won the last quarter by 2.
It was a terrific quarter from South Australia. It did look like they had lost a little bit of momentum through the middle 5 of that quarter, but they really found some intensity towards the end as they worked the ball through Davis. We do see a couple of changes for Victoria. Josh Smith returning to the court, this time in the goal attack position. We see Simon Cartwright in goalkeeper. South Australia can keep this momentum. They're a very, very strong chance of breaking down this lead with 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, really interested in this change from McConnell as Aiken grabs the ball, unfortunately goes offside, but bringing Simon Cartwright in to goalkeeper with Danny Lotes out the front.
I don't mind having a tall in front in defence. I feel it gives an opportunity for the likes of Cartwright to have a fly at the ball.
Yep.
and you got big hands over it. I wouldn't even be worried about working the swaps in the circle too much. They're both more than capable. And terrific offload from Gorham. Davis is going to be deadly in this last quarter. Oh, just a little bit too much on it from Josh Smith.
And that's possibly an area to, Alex Nichols just able to get his hands on it, not able to keep control. But I think Josh Smith sometimes gets a little bit of rush of blood at goal attack when he comes out and is there to deliver the ball down the court for his team. So
yeah, he was so terrifically settled in goal shooter for the earlier parts of this game. I think if he can just stay settled in goal attack, he'll be so valuable for him, but he's got to do that. And South Australia hopefully able to capitalise, as unfortunately a bit of a miscommunication between Turner and Jerry. I think they just lack the rhythm they had for a moment there. They've got to build that rapport again on court quickly.
Yeah, probably the opportunity to go backwards instead of just forcing the ball directly sideways, trying to break through. But George Duff,
very, very lucky for Victoria.
Unlucky.
Obviously, the umpire had a clearer angle on that than us, but it looked pretty good for George Duff from here. And that's the front position work that you want to see from a goal defence, having to go at that low ball and not giving the attackers any option, especially when a poor feed comes in.
And a little bit of confusion through the middle of the court there from South Australia, but able to sort it out, get the ball through. Jerry trying to block out Sutton, but wasn't able to get through. And yeah, does give a bit of a hip and shoulder into the back of Sutton, just trying to front cut, and causes the turnover. Great work from James Sutton.
South Australia need to use that middle of the court again. When they're going through the top, when they're using that as their main point for feeding or to feed off, that's when they created things.
Yeah.
When they get stuck wide, when they're getting stuck in pockets, they're struggling a bit.
And I definitely think that there's an option for Jerry to kind of take the drive, look like he's going for the front cut, but also open himself back up through the middle of the court, get himself off the front drive body and just peel himself back up, be an outlet ball and allow for the court to open up.
Remind himself that he's in the wing attack position. It's his job to get the top of the circle and feed, which he's been doing well.
Yeah, agreed. Another goal there from Victoria. It is 53-38 now. A breaking call there on Victoria.
And Turner read that situation quite well. He could see that they were calling for the players to come down and for someone to was probably going to jump that transverse line. He just walked it in casually into the circle. That did force a jump over the line and the break.
And Danny Lotes out of play. Gorham just does a quick little step back, finds Davis, now slotting the easy one away for South Australia. And Turner with just a little bit of unfortunate spacing in the body position, but Victoria moved the ball around the inside of the circle, able to find Alex Nichols there, easy shot under the post. And a change once again for South Australia. Spur returning to the court. And South Australia, lovely little set structure, but unable to put that one away. Victoria on the fly. Wade Aitken able to find some space.
Yeah, McInnes just losing Aitken for a moment there, and it made it difficult him to then find him in the back space. Spur on his return to court, unfortunately getting the obstruction call, but terrific rebound. South Australia now looking to drive it out through the court.
Great pull in from Turner.
Yeah, recognising that on the sideline, Gorham. Oh, not the greatest pass positionally. The intent was great, but it was perfectly pulled in by Davis.
Yeah, it's important for that goal shooter when the ball doesn't come into the right spot for them to pull it out of the air just to keep control and make sure that they're going after the ball directly.
This is showing this last quarter is going to be an absolute grind for both sides. It is. South Australia are determined. They are doing everything they can to get themselves completely back in it.
Yeah, and all it takes is just quick 3 turnovers that happen Victoria feel the pressure straight away. Steve McInnes going up for the challenge there. Nice little slap on the back. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, he realised he couldn't quite get to the ball and didn't have the desired effect he originally wanted. Just letting them know that, hey, no malice in it.
And a caution there just given to Dan Brauskis. Not completely sure what that one was for specifically, whether it was a contact or just a persistent break, but...
Well, yeah, which if it's a persistent break, that's a little bit unfair, given that there has been the change. Sutton's just swapped with Dan Brauskis. That this might be one that's worth questioning around, given the role in subs, how difficult it is for the umpires to recognise, with all the changes, who that person actually... Do we penalise the position or do we penalise the person?
Yeah, Victoria bringing on now Josh Clavarino onto the court, replacing Alex Nicol. And a fantastic shot there from Clavarino. Having a small little laugh as well at the end of that one. And that's probably the opportunity for when the ball is not given to you, the reason why you need to stay grounded, just the ball delivered as a bounce pass. Tyson Jerry jumps up in the air. Clavarino now with the miss, but does flick the ball back in. Josh Smith pulling in the crumb ball and puts that one away for Victoria. Margin now out to 16 goals as well. 7 minutes remaining in this semi-final. Victoria now maybe looking to rest some legs. I think 16 goals is probably a little too much to pull in for South Australia.
And in Victoria's case, trying to work out what other combinations may work for them at this pointy end of the competition, that they've still got options that they need to be able to throw out in a grand final if needed. So keep people in touch, keep people fresh, and different options have been working for the Victorian reserve side throughout the week. Terrific ball from Jerry into Gorham. Ooh, I'm not sure that he kept his feet well there.
I agree. I think there might have been a footwork call as well, but they retained possession, did try to go off the post.
And great shot, Davis.
But Davis really has been good for South Australia today. Fantastic option. And Gorham gets his hand to another ball there. Goal attack, stealing the ball through the middle of the court. Just shows the importance of defensive pressure, but Dambrowskis pulling that one out of the air, flicks it down to Aitken. Victoria flying down the court, Big V style. And
that is a perfect feed into the circle.
Great vision, just letting Josh Smith as a goal attack do the movement that he needs to do, freeing himself up, putting the ball in the air. Wade Aitken, great throw.
And even though we've seen Victoria change goalers on a few different occasions, they each offer something different to the side, which is difficult for defenders to adjust to if you are rolling the subs. But it's also difficult for your feeders sometimes to adjust to. That's something they've done well today.
Yeah, great job by Victoria. They have been able to score 59 goals through 54 minutes of netball, so really probably looking to ensure another 6 or 7 goals get on the scoreboard by the end of the match, keeping that same momentum.
And I'd love to see that split of Davis again, partly because I think there may be another footwork opportunity, but he should really use his split to his advantage a bit more. He stopped doing that. His shot has been great. Might as well keep going strong at the ball. Victoria just getting caught on top of each other. They need to think about the space again. You cannot try and put that ball over Spur, though. Spur is going to have a go at it. There's got to be another option there as Adam Franz just goes flying at the ball. Turner getting it through, tapped down by Davis.
Yeah, great work there from Alec Davis, able to see that he wasn't able to pull it in, but could help and get it back to a teammate. Unfortunately, Mark Gorham unable to put the ball through the ring, and Victoria moving down the court quickly again. Great hands from Steve McInnes to tip that one out along the sideline. Aitken setting up the play for Victoria.
And whilst initially I thought Josh Smith may have got a bit too low in that split, and the hold, he got his body back upright, which allowed him to really widespread get the ball. There's no way defender was getting around that.
Yeah, goal there for Claverino. Margin now out to 17. Just 4 minutes to go in the semi-final. Would have to say that Victoria will play off in the final. They will be playing against New South Wales, who lead 57-35 over on court 1. So a fantastic game to look out for. Did watch that game during the rounds as well. Ended up being about a 3-goal margin, I think, Matthew, but it was a fantastic ripper of a game.
Oh,
so
wasn't it just?
Something for netball fans to watch for tomorrow. That reserves division final between New South Wales now and Victoria.
But we've still got 3.5 minutes to play here, and let's see what options that both these teams do and how they want to finish this game. What determination. Victoria obviously wanting some momentum going into a final now tomorrow. South Australia wanting to make sure this doesn't blow out because they've had a terrific match overall. They've had a terrific tournament.
Definitely a tournament for them to remember, making some improvements, making the final a few years ago, 2016, 2015?
2016.
2015.
Yes, up in Sydney at Netball Central.
2015.
They played in that, and that was a precursor to South Australia returning with an open men's side, which they've become so much stronger in that division as well. And this is what men's netball is great to see, that some of the states who have only returned to the organisation in the last 10 years have really built up their grades, their divisions, and seen the strength come through.
Yeah, South Australia's M League just going from strength to strength, as well as Danny Lopes leaves the court. James Sutton coming on into goal defence for Victoria. But South Australia have certainly improved. Credit to their M League starting to maintain constant competitive play for the boys in South Australia. So great work to South Australia for the job done on their M League.
Yeah, and the more that you can see a men's and mixed competition floating around in any of the states on a consistent basis, the more each state is going to benefit, and the stronger you see each competition become. This is what we're seeing products and the results of. Each of the states that have got that consistent competition are getting even stronger, and the ones who are nearly there, they're consistent from year to year and pushing it a little bit further, but they'll have even more improvement as they get that men's competition.
Yeah, just saw Mark Gorham slot a long bomb goal there, but great feed from Jerry into Alec Davis, who has the fantastic mid-range shot there. He has been good for South Australia today, not just my goaling bias, I think has been a fantastically solid option.
I would agree completely. Other than maybe a few minutes early on in the game, he's really been a clear option, a clear target. He's stood up when they've needed him to. He's put up long-range shots, and they've gone in. We are now under the minute mark. Victoria with the ball on the edge of the circle. They will be looking to finish off with a couple more goals and finish the strong way that they've played for the majority of the game. As a replay ball goes against them, Steve McInnes managing to stay balanced somehow on that 1 foot. Oh, bit of miscommunication. Oh, slightly late. Umpire taking her eyes off the action for a moment. Fans coming flying through, and unfortunately Turda being on the end of it. Long ball through to Wade Aiken. Oh, just getting caught in the wrong direction there, Josh Smith. But what a terrific game he had, especially in goal shooter today.
Yeah, Josh was also fantastic. Both shooters had been great for their respective teams.
Look, 10 seconds to go. Victoria have got the chance to score once more. They should be very proud of their result, as should South Australia. That was, I will take that moment though, just before we finish competition. That's a good lesson in understanding time. There was about 10 seconds to go when that ball was released, 9 seconds. There's still a good 3 or 4 passes you can get in, get in goal. And you know this yourself from your experience. You've been able to shoot the goals with about 2 seconds to go and sink them when needed. Yeah,
it's either getting the ball into the post, possibly causing a penalty, or something else that can come out of it. How can you look at not just the option of scoring, but creating the ability to score, even if it is that 2 seconds remaining? completely do agree with you there, Matthew. Now that does bring us to the end of this semi-final clash in the men's reserve division. Victoria taking this one out in what was a great game between the two states. Margin in the end, 14 goals. Victoria wrapping it up 61-47. Matthew Blomley, thank you for joining me in the cast of this match.
Daniel, thank you. Look forward to doing it again at the next opportunity.
Fantastic. Everyone tune in for the next game here on Court 2. We look forward to seeing you in about half an hour's time. Thanks very much for tuning in.
In sport, there are the elite, the ones who give their all for a place at the top. They are the ones who rise to the occasion.
The 2019 Men's Open Australian Championships.
This is exactly what we wanted, putting men's netball on the map.
There's so many people that have come before us. There are so many people that are going to come after us. But we're part of that foundation. You know, we're building it to be whatever it becomes.
You have to put your heart on the line, and you have to be a team person first.
That was not good enough to me, and you shouldn't accept it as good enough for you. Get on one-on-one.
Yeah, imagine a female then being told, well, sorry, you can't play AFL or you can't play cricket past this age. You'd certainly hear about it.
We've continued to work so that no other 12-year-old boy has to hear that ever again.